Is that how you record most of the videos?
Yep.
Okay.
And I'll have a little tripod or what do you call it?
Like a selfie stick or something?
Yep.
Okay.
And I joined a video school, and it's the business video school. I've been in it for a couple of years to kind of learn better how to present it and also how to edit. I love the editing part. That's the fun part for me, because then you add like music and little like weird things coming out of your mouth and
Welcome to Agent Success Podcast. If you're a real estate agent looking to succeed in today's crazy market, well, you're in the right place. Each week, we talk with successful real estate agents willing to share their expert insights, trade secrets, and mindset that help them to succeed. There's no fluff, just straight to the point content that prioritizes one thing above all, your success. So without further ado, let's cut to the chase. All right, everybody, we have with us today Sarah Pelton. How are you doing, Sarah?
I'm doing great, Tim.
Awesome. And Sarah is a real estate agent at Front Range Real Estate. I like your shirt. What does your shirt say?
It says Badass Realtor.
It does say that.
It
Interesting.
does.
Wow. Did you come up with this, or did you win an award for that shirt, or it's a self-designation, or what is that?
Well, actually, my broker made a T-shirt for me after she hired me. She could
Nice.
see the potential.
She saw that. She said, you know what? You're going places. You're going to give you a black belt before you even get fighting, right?
That's
right.
That's right. Well, actually, I came with the black belt.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Nice. All right. And how long have you been doing real estate?
I have been a realtor for 8 years now.
8 years. So you got in, let's see, that would be, rates were good 8 years ago. House prices were actually considerably lower than they are now. So it was a good market. Wasn't a bad market by any means, right?
No,
So you've been in with at least a decent market your entire time in real estate.
That's correct.
Except for a year ago when they raised interest rates out of the blue. And then all of a sudden, all these real estate agents that were doing a lot of transactions stopped doing transactions. And so I pulled up some stats, and it seems to me, based off, I get nerded out on statistics a lot. It seems to me that a lot of newer realtors over, let's say, the last 3 or 4 years, a lot of them have fizzled out completely because it was a fake market, in 2020, 2021, right? It's just a fake market. But in addition to that, a lot of agents that were completely crushing it, a lot of these newer agents are taking a piece of the pie. So now they're not getting the 200 transactions that their teams are used to getting. Now they're getting 60, right? And it's getting spread further out. But I've seen a lot of real estate agents not be able to make enough to make a living. And that's where you are setting yourself apart, right? You're making enough to make a living. Yes. You're actually succeeding. You're actually doing quite well in real estate. Whereas a lot of agents can't quite figure out this turn from 2021 to 2022, that change. Did you see a struggle from 21 to 22? Did your production change at all? Because right now it's still very good, but was there a change for you?
Well, there was a slowing for a couple of months, but no, not really. And I think a lot of it is at this point in my career, most of my referrals are from former clients or referrals from clients. So that's the difference, is when you're starting out in it, you don't have any clients to refer you. You haven't proven yourself. Now that I'm at a stage where I've actually proven myself, it's most 95% of my business is referral.
That is the dream position. And the weird thing to me is a lot of agents don't actually achieve that. Even being in the industry for 15 or 20 years, it feels like they're always on the hunt constantly, as opposed to repeat and referral business.
Oh, well, you have to treat your clients well the first time around in order for them to come back.
Now, what about follow-up? What do you do? And keep in mind, so what in this podcast, we like to talk and find out, like, down to the heart of the matter, like really what actions are leading to your success. What do other agents, what are they missing? So let's ask about follow-up really quickly. After closing, post-closing, do you stay in contact with your clients at all?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Do you have a schedule for that, or is it just more your friends at that point, or do you have a kind of a structured follow up?
Well, a lot of my clients have become personal friends, so there's follow up in social activities. I do things like a drip campaign for like Boomerang. It's
Yeah, I love Boomerang.
Yeah, I do too, and my
Yeah.
clients love it too. So it's free, or buy one get one free.
I like that
coupons.
because it's not a silly recipe or fall colors. Instead, it's like, hey, there's a new burger place opening on South Tejon.
Right.
Buy one get one free for the next month, right? Or during I think it was Christmas, they did Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory. It's like
Right.
buy a half
Every
pound of
month
fudge.
they have something new.
something new. So
Yeah.
it makes it to where, and I actually didn't know if people were using that for a while when I was debating if I wanted to keep doing Boomerang. And so I would go out a couple times and I used the coupon myself because I'd send myself one, and I would go and ask them, have you guys gotten many of these? And understanding I'm not the only one that sends them out. There's hundreds of them that go out all over the time or all over the place. And shockingly, almost everybody said, oh yeah, we got a ton of these this month.
And my clients ask me about that too. If they
Yeah.
are you making sure to change my address so I still get the coupon?
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
yeah.
that's cool. So you do.
Yeah.
So
do that.
outside of that, what else do you do?
I do a lot of videos, and so I have a monthly newsletter, and I try to attach one of the videos that I've made to the newsletter. So it's a newsletter that a company creates for you, and it may have
It's like a subscription you pay for.
yes,
Okay.
and maybe a topic about home ownership, and then a recipe, and then
And you put a video
and I put a video of mine.
within that newsletter.
Yes,
Okay.
from my little YouTube channel.
And so you do a video a month, like one a month? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what do you try to, on your videos, and just because we do a lot of video out of
Right.
here, so I'm curious, what I have found is that often consistency is the most important. And then, of course, the message has to be there, right? So consistency of the message, but the quality of the video comes in second or third, even after the consistency. And so when you go to shoot your videos, what topics you're using, and what kind of equipment are you using? Your phone? Are you using a studio? What are you doing?
Well, on the topics, I do a variety, depending on, maybe I'll do like a what to do for fall cleanup or something, or
Okay.
Staging.
Do you
or
dress
some-
up with like rubber gloves and shows you scrubbing the floor?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Right on.
I'm all about the different. Instead of just sitting being a talking head,
Yeah.
I've jumped out of boxes. I've walked in the woods. I've done bizarre
Yeah.
things. The stranger, I think,
Yeah.
the better. And so my friends and family that I send the newsletter to. So I pick like 100 people and for my newsletter.
Yeah.
These are the people that know you, like you, trust you,
Yeah,
right?
sure.
Not just former clients. And then I send them, and I get a lot of feedback from that. Sometimes not always positive. But anyway, it's just me
Yeah.
clowning around, and
Yeah.
people like that.
Yeah.
I'm it's my natural self.
And how long is the videos typically?
Oh, typically try to stay under 30 seconds.
Oh wow, okay,
But
right to the point.
sometimes, I'm on like TikTok stuff I do under
Yeah.
30 seconds, but maybe 2 minutes at the
Okay,
at the most. And I
longest.
kind of warn them, if you bear with me for 2 minutes, I'm going to show you. And I usually do 5 of this. 8 great reasons to hire me. I have,
So you act however you're going to act. You act yourself. You have fun with it.
Yes.
But then you're adding value in there, right? So within this 2 minutes, you're going to get something out of it. It's not just me jumping out of a box or falling out of a tree. It's actually like real information.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
little tips for all kinds of things. But I try to provide some value into what I'm doing. But then I'll put that in my newsletter and send it out. I also do videos, like one-on-one phone videos instead of...
Like a bomb or a text video or something like that?
Yeah, a text video. So it's your birthday.
Yeah.
If I'd known, I would have sent you one. Did you hear that? It's Tim's birthday. So I'll do a little message to
Yeah.
you specifically, and people just like that. It's it's personal to them.
I love that. Do you try to do that on your past clients' birthdays?
Well, no. I do, but I don't know everyone's birthday.
That is interesting as
but
a
an
real estate
anniversary,
agent.
something. It's whatever. National
Somehow you're
Redhead Day. I would send Andrea.
You'd send her. You'd send her. I like your guys' both. We have 2 shirts here, right?
Yeah.
We got a realtor one and a mortgage one. That's good. I wonder what the 2 of you walking down the street, redheads, fiery. Both you guys need to go to lunch wearing these things.
I know,
wearing these 2 shirts. I think you'd probably get a free lunch. I'm not
If
sure.
you're buying, we're going.
Is that how that free lunch is going to happen?
That's how it happens.
Okay.
Dude.
All right. Right on.
But anyway, I use my phone. I use
Yeah.
my iPhone.
Is that how you record most of the videos?
Yep.
Okay.
And I'll have a little tripod or what do you call it?
Like a selfie stick or something?
Yep.
Okay.
And I joined a video school, and it's the business video school. I've been in it for a couple of years to kind of learn better how to present it and also how to edit. I love the editing part. That's the fun part for me, because then you add like music and little like weird things coming out of your mouth and
what software are you using to edit?
I use Capwing or Kapwing, depends.
Okay, I haven't heard that one.
Yeah, it's pretty easy. I
Is it
tried to use the Apple stuff, but it's just that was way too complicated for me.
Apple's interesting. I think they do a lot of very good editing stuff, but their free stuff. Here's what I found when I tried to edit with Apple because they have a lot of options. I found that their free stuff lacked some of the needed things that I wanted. But then when I paid for but I love how the free one works. It's like super easy and intuitive, right? But then when I wanted the extra tools, I did their paid version. And then I had to like learn a new language. It was like, well, here, we're going to learn Italian now. And I'm like, wait, what? What's going on here?
We have to know what to do with the B-roll.
Exactly. It got a little bit complicated for me there.
Yeah.
So
if it's too complicated, I won't do it.
So
I'm old school, so it takes a little longer to learn.
So let me ask you. When you do a video, do you spend a lot of time on it? Is it a 1 hour done, 2 hour, half day, 3 day, like to get that video out?
It's a couple of hours.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, to get it to people are just used to that. Quick. Give me the quick, fast.
Yeah.
I want to see. So you have to keep moving things in your video for different images and sounds.
It has gotten massively shorter over the last 7 or 8 years, last 5 years, last 3 years, to where it needs to get to the point, and it needs to be an attention getter, fairly quickly.
Everything's a TikTok video now.
It's pretty wild.
So I had to join TikTok just so that could be my TikTok is a little more off the cuff.
Okay. So if somebody wanted to go see your TikTok, where would they go?
Okay, so my TikTok is Red the Realtor at Badass Realtor for You.
You've basically hit all the points in that name. That's good. You've hit all the points on there. So,
so I stuck with the social. You can't do everything well on every social media platform. So for me, I stuck with Facebook because older people, like a lot of my
people who want to buy a house are on Facebook,
right, who can afford to buy a house, are on Facebook.
Yeah.
And you have to engage with that as well. And then I'm not as good on Instagram because that's kind of the group I'm not that familiar with Instagram, but I'll do
or
YouTube.
millennial and slightly younger.
Yes. I do a YouTube. I have a YouTube channel, and then I do TikTok as well.
Okay.
Just because it's fun. And I watch
some hilarious stuff on there.
TikTok.
Yeah.
Still have to get my animals in somehow, but I'm working on that.
So when you are you finding at any point that something you're saying or doing in your video is making more people react to want to reach out to you? Meaning, are you adding a certain kind of value, or is it more goofy, or what is that you're getting the most reactions from? What types of videos? Because I've heard different stories in that. Some people
you always have to have a call to action, is what I've been told. So at every video or TikTok or whatever, you tell them what you want them to do.
Give me an example. Okay, email me, call me.
If you want this, email me.
Okay.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I do get business from that. I'll make pleas if the market's down and I'm looking for, I've got buyers, but no sellers.
Mm-hmm.
I'll appeal to my clients to like sell their house
Okay.
and say, if you know of anyone, would you please,
I-
refer them to me?
How often do you think you do personal videos? And the reason I ask that is I think that's a very underused leverage tool. But I will say that I've learned over the years of trying text videos that if you have an iPhone, it works really stinking good. If you have an Android like I have, text videos are horrible.
Oh, are they?
They compress them down. You can't do them very long. They're grainy. They're just terrible.
Oh.
So when I went back to an Android, I had to the only way for me to do it basically is through BombBomb or another service that you can send a video. I think the difference though is with Apple, you're able to they're actually able to download the video. They actually see the video right there. They don't have to go to a separate link to watch the video like you do with a BombBomb. So the Apple is far superior in text videos. So how often do you think that you send text videos to people? Is it you try to do it once a month, once a week, you do a couple a month, or is it just kind of?
It's catch as catch can. If I'm busy, I don't do as much, obviously.
Okay.
I mean, but I try to do at least one video a month where I actually have to, it's on a subject and I edit it.
Okay.
The ones on the phone, I'll just do as whatever. Something reminds me of a client or something. I'm
Okay.
driving by something. I'm at a
Drive by an
store.
In and Out, and you're like, hey, remember that time we looked at 82 houses in one
Exactly.
day and we had to stop at In and Out?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that kind of thing, just
Yeah.
spontaneous stuff. People respond to that.
Oh, that's
So-
fantastic. I think that's the difference though between and you asked me earlier why am I on your podcast exactly? What's going on here? Did nobody else show up? What's going on? Did somebody rat me out? What's up? It's because you have had a consistency, and there's something behind that consistency that there's 5,000 real estate agents in Colorado Springs, and a majority of them aren't making a living. You're succeeding at it, but it's also been a consistent success. It's not I've always been taught that the market will find you out. That's the term that I was taught 15 years ago or whatever it was. I was always told the market will find you out. What that means is you may come in with a bang and you may hit it and you're like, yes, I'm the new thing, whatever. I'm going, I'm winning, I'm succeeding. But give yourself 2 years, give yourself 3 years, give yourself 5 years. The market will find you out for what you really are. And when you see somebody like yourself, you've been doing this 8 years and you have that consistency, especially pre, during, and post COVID, you maintain a consistency. That's very rare. Right, that's not super normal, and so there's something in your actions that have led you to that. And I think when we use the phrase "the market will find you out," I think the market has found you out, and the market has found out, hey, I'm going to keep working hard.
Yeah.
I'm going to put in my hours every day, and that's the thing a lot of real estate agents get lost on is the hours that it takes to do that, and the constant mindset. Because if your mind is somewhere else and you just show up part-time for real estate, you're not going to think of the Smith family from 2 years ago in this situation and shoot them a quick video, right? Because your mind's not there. If you're in it and this is who you are and what you do, then that allows you to do that. So I think that's fantastic. I think more real estate agents should do that. They should have very scheduled times, in my mind, it should be a loan anniversary or a purchase anniversary, a moving anniversary, a birthday, whatever else you find out about them. Could be a child's something, a birthday or a birth or whatever it is, and just reach out to them. I think that's huge. And you said most of your clients have become your friends.
Right.
That
helps.
That does help. But think of it like this. You have a couple different types of real estate agents. I'm sure you've dealt with them. You have the real estate agents that take the word fiduciary very seriously, and they want to act as their clients in their client's best interest. And part of that though is making that connection with the client, understanding them. But then you have another kind of real estate agent that I've always called the pit bull agent, that they get in and I'm going to use air quotes. We're going to get it done, and they just piss everybody off. everybody's miserable, and they get in, they fight over every little light switch. They fight over like everything's a tragedy. They want to blame the title company. They want to blame the lender. They want to blame the TC. They're like, there's always a problem everywhere, right?
Right.
Nobody wants to work long-term with them. But the problem that they have is those are the agents, in my experience, that are constantly on the hunt. They're not like you getting repeat and referral business. Become friends with, because who do you want to work with? Like, if you,
Right.
do you want to work with your friend? Well, of course. Do I want to go look at houses with my friend? Yeah. Do I want to go look at houses with somebody who's just going to get in and fight for me? Okay. I don't know any other realtors, I guess, right? So I think that's absolutely fantastic. That's the approach.
Well, it
that you
is
take.
one of the most important financial endeavors for most people. So I think they really need to trust that you've got their back and you've got their best interest. Doesn't mean that you have to be rude about it, but you do have to develop relationships with other people that are involved in the transaction. Sometimes that's really hard to do.
Well, and you're going to bump into that other agent at some point
Yeah.
down the road, and
Exactly.
and you would really like
on
it
the other side.
exactly. You'd really like your offer to get preferential treatment instead
Right.
of turned down. So I have a couple pre-scripted questions.
Okay.
And I know you've read through them, but they're going to be maybe a little off the cuff. But I'm kind of curious. So you've been doing this for 8 years. What did you do prior to real estate?
Well, I was for 25 years. I was a federal law enforcement agent.
Oh,
So,
did my name ever come up?
Well, could you give me your social security number again?
Wow,
There are a lot of Tim Chases.
you have found several.
So, with that said, we are required to retire at a certain age.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it's just the way the job series is developed. And
So you know 10 years ahead of time, on this day I'm retiring.
yes.
Wow.
So I thought I'll try.
It's not that way in real estate, is
Yeah,
it?
I'll try. And so I went from a very intense, on the job, on call, 24/7 stress, job to another one like that. So, but I did try to retire. I tried to retire for 6 months.
That's how long it lasted?
That's how long it lasted.
Wow.
And I discovered though that I had, it was too expensive to retire, so I went back into it.
Yeah.
And my broker and I became friends because she was my realtor.
Ah.
So she made it look so easy,
She was happy.
Oh, yeah.
She cashed
Yeah.
a check.
She was drinking a lot. That's what the key was. But anyway, she made it look easy. So she's like, why don't you just get your license and come work with me? And I said, well, I'll come work with you if you open your own brokerage. I'm not going to pay one of these big national companies 35%.
Yeah.
I'll pay you 10%. I basically told her. And she said, okay. So she
negotiating
did.
before your first closing. Wow.
That was part of the law enforcement thing.
Okay, I was going to say that's at least you know what you're after, right? Yeah, that's good.
So no, she's very fair, and I'm still with her.
Yeah.
And anyway, she was a great mentor for me.
Yeah.
And she and I have become friends.
So it's
since
a
then.
small brokerage?
Yeah, it's only like a dozen of us.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she opened her own. You went along, and then over the years
started bringing other people on.
Okay.
So we're always looking for good people too.
Oh,
so
cool.
I would like to share that with
with any listeners. Yeah, always looking
with
for good people.
Yeah.
And I think that's highly important that a new agent is with a company that can show them what to do.
Right.
And to me, for her to be able to bring you on, and obviously your own work ethic and your mindset and your style is a massive contributing factor to it. But the fact that she could bring on a new person and have them start to succeed, that shows that they do have a good structure and have a good mentorship. where
Right.
you're at.
And that's what it's about too, is helping others along the way, you know?
Yeah.
So, and you develop that, then if you refer someone, then when you retire, then you've got people still doing the work and you're still collecting some paycheck,
the beautiful, here's the beautiful part is when you become repeat and referral type business, you're on your way to do that, as
Right.
opposed to constantly either lead purchasing or constantly hunting, where you start to get and it takes several years to get there. Doing it right takes sometimes it takes people a lifetime and they never get there. But having that repeat business is a very very big
eventually I am really going to retire.
deal. How long do you think that second retirement's going to last? Is that?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm still also in the process of setting things up where I'm buying investment properties.
Okay.
So I like the investment part of it as well in real estate. So I'm buying a few properties, and then they will eventually provide the passive income.
Do you ever do investment type loans for yourself, or do you do traditional investment loans?
I do traditional loans.
Like a Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac type investment loan?
Yes, like a conventional loan
Correct.
as opposed to a hard money loan.
Yeah, well, they have different programs where it's a lot of real estate agents like to use, where it goes off of it's called like a DSCR loan, debt service coverage ratio, to where basically they look at the rents of the house. And I was kind of curious, a lot of real estate agents leverage that. You're going more of the conventional investment property.
Right, and I think only because the terms weren't as attractive.
Right, the rates are better on the conventional. Yeah.
Right, and I'm not doing fix and flips. I'm doing
holding them.
I'm holding, so I do I have a short-term rental, a mid-term rental, and a long-term rental. Just trying it out.
When you are looking at how you run real estate, if you could give anybody who's listening one or two things that are a must for you to be succeeding in real estate. Is it follow-up? Is it cold call? Is it buying leads from Zillow? Is it, that was a no.
Don't buy leads.
From Zillow.
From anyone.
From anyone. So if you could think of like one or two things, like if you stop doing this one thing, your success over the next 6 months would definitely fall off. If a normal real estate agent started doing this one thing, their success definitely would pick up.
Be available 24/7.
Okay.
And I say that in all seriousness.
Coming from a federal agent who's been 24/7 for 30 years.
Well,
yeah.
I was trained, right?
Yeah.
But my clients expect me to answer the phone at 10:30 at night. They expect me to be able to drop things to go show a house at 4 o'clock on Sunday. It's a commitment. It is. I don't know how realtors with kids can do it. Can do this. It would be a lot of coordination. But it's either full time or you're not going to make it.
Yeah.
In my opinion, you got to be
available. That's a very consistent message I hear from a lot of people that we talk to. Is you have to put in the time. Don't show up for an hour, make some calls, and call it a day. Wait for the phone to ring. It is literally full time. You're working all the time. You're putting in your 40, 50 hours, right? Whatever that looks like. When you say available, what's the latest you've ever had a client call you?
About 11:30 at night when we had a deal going.
Okay.
Remember when they used to be at noon or at midnight? Now we can, we can establish
what
a
is
time.
it? Yeah, it's like 4 or 5. You can put the time on the contract.
I always use 8 o'clock now just in case. But I mean, yes, I've been on the phone for that, and they're like, "Oh, I'm so sorry to call you," but yet they need you there. I mean,
interesting.
Things are falling off the.
Were you sleeping at that time? When they called you?
No.
Okay,
I actually turned my phone off to go to sleep.
Oh, okay.
So if my phone's on, I'm available.
Which is different. A lot of real estate agents like to screen their calls. You're answering your calls.
Yeah, I don't do that.
Yeah.
I probably should, but I don't.
It's like, oh man, another telemarketer, dang it.
People get used to that. And even if I'm across from an agent who leaves me a message and says, if you call on Sunday, I'll get back to you on Monday. That's so frustrating to me. This is not a Monday through Saturday job.
Yeah,
when people say, "Oh, I'm sorry, it's calling you on the weekend," I'm like, every day's the weekend.
It's
right?
Well, the thing is, in real estate, some people can't go and see a house until Saturday, or they have kids.
To work on Wednesday.
Exactly, and they get off work at 6 o'clock, and they still got to feed the kids and get out to go, see a house.
Right.
Or you're selling a house. And they're trying to show it at 6 o'clock,
right.
or so it is a constant thing. Now I'm going to put you on the spot just a little bit.
Okay.
If you could just deal with buyers or sellers, what would you deal with?
Well, in a seller's market, I'd like to deal with sellers only.
Wow, very well.
Yeah,
very,
I like
very
them
well
both.
spoken.
I like
yeah.
them both, and I'll
Okay.
tell you why. Buyers, it's fun to do the shopping part, you
Okay,
know,
yeah.
and so that even, you know, in a down market, it's still fun to go out and look and help people find like that, whatever, the dream house for them. In a seller's market, you get all the prep work done first, and then the work is done by the buyer's agent. So
Wow.
you're either like working it all up front and then you're good, or, you know.
Or there's no upfront. It's just you're just in it with a buyer. Right?
Yeah. But the buyers are more demanding. You know, you
Yeah.
have to be able to go when we're ready.
Would you feel like your buyers take more time?
Yes.
Okay. And I've heard that. I've heard that you can generally speaking, have 2 to 3 listings and 1 buyer, and they would take about the same amount of time.
Right.
Does that sound
And
about right?
each buyer, I would think, roughly 25 houses you show at least
Yeah.
before they find the one.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
What? Okay. Now I'm going to put you on the spot a couple more times.
Okay. Go try it.
What? I know you answered that last
Bring
one
it.
really good. What do you find the most challenging for you? Like, what's the most challenging thing that you know you need to do, know you have to do, and it takes an internal commitment to actually push yourself to do it? You just don't, like, it's just not easy for you to do in this job.
I would say doing something like a group activity, like a client appreciation thing. I know I should do it.
Yeah.
I just, you know, I would
not your
rather
thing,
take,
yeah.
I'd rather take like little groups out.
Yeah.
You know, and do it.
As
things
opposed
like
to the
that.
big event where you rent
Yeah,
the
a
whole
tent
circus
and
and
I just
clowns are coming around
I
and all
can't.
that.
I
Yeah.
can't do it. Yeah, I mean, I will if I have to, but I don't need to do that
But
right now.
and part of the reason I wanted to ask that is I want anybody listening to understand that you're not going to textbook. You can't be a textbook realtor, right? Where you do every single thing. You find what you're good at. You double down on what you're good at, and you keep trying to crush really what you're good at and stay focused. So
Yeah, and don't get distracted by all the shiny things, which is a problem with new realtors. I did the
Yep.
same thing. I was like, oh, that's cool. I love that software. I was like buying stuff I would never use,
Yeah.
you know, and it's just like, oh,
so is that different than now, where you're like,
yeah,
I just don't need that.
I don't need it. I've tried it. I don't need it. It's not making me any money. So on to the next thing. So do a couple things, find a couple things, and do it well.
And so a couple more interesting questions for you.
Okay.
And you might know the answer to this one already, but if you could be in my shoes as a loan officer for a week, what would you do different than what you see most loan officers doing?
Keep the parties informed of the process. I'm frustrated with that as a realtor. I don't want to have to call a lender
Yeah.
to say, how are things going? Even if I'm the
Yeah.
seller, I don't, and if I'm the buyer, I don't.
You want to be informed up front. You don't want to say,
Yeah, it's
"Hey,
in
did
underwriting.
that appraisal happen?
Yeah,
Is
did
it
the appraisal?
yeah.
That
Okay.
kind of thing. That I would do that. And some lenders are good at that, where they send out little email,
Sure.
like this is where we're at,
Yeah.
or a little video, like this is where we're at,
Yeah.
which I like because I don't think about it, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, the appraisal's due tomorrow, you know,
Like,
so
hold
I
on,
better
yeah.
call them and
Hold on a
find out.
second.
Right? Yeah, but you probably do that, Tim, so you don't need that.
Of course
advice.
we do that, but I wanted to know what you did. So how often?
And I would give everyone the money they want.
So you show up, you're like, you know what?
Credit score 250, you got it.
You look like a $750,000 buyer to me. You do have a job, right? Well, you're going to get a job, right?
You're going to get one?
Okay, yeah,
Okay, all right.
As long as you're going to
You're
get
gonna
one,
move
we
out
can.
of mom and dad's basement, you'll get
be
a job.
good. Yeah,
All
there's
right.
not going to be a payment shock on that $1 million house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't worry
You've been
about
paying rent for $200 a
Yeah.
month. Shouldn't be difficult. So are you trying to build a team now?
No.
Do you anticipate?
Well, I mean, I would like to build, I would like to recruit agents
Okay. Well,
that I could mentor, but I don't want to, like a quote,
traditional team, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, well,
I'm not a team player.
It's well, that's interesting because some people, their whole goal is to build the team. But the interesting part about that is I have seen so many different structures of what a team is
Mm-hmm.
that it's not like in football. There's 11 people on the field. Everybody's got a position. They know what to do.
Right.
But I've seen so many different types of teams that it's hard to define what that team does and what it looks
Do
like.
teams have to share their money?
They do.
Okay, no, I'll
Yeah.
never have a team.
So I got a couple.
Do you want me to be honest?
Yeah, I want you to be able to do it. Do I have to share my- do you have any family members in the business?
No.
Are you happy
Thank
about that?
God, yeah. Well, and they don't really understand. Like my brother just like, why do you work so hard? I'm like, well, because I need to. He's been retired for years. He can't understand. He does retirement really well.
Yeah.
He golfs all the time. He plays pickleball.
So he rocks at retirement.
He rocks at retirement. I don't rock at retirement.
Yeah.
I'm too, ADD or whatever,
Okay,
type A.
I got something to do.
I got to have stuff to do all the time.
Yeah.
So.
If you're not, a federal employee out chasing bad guys, and
then I'll chase the good guys.
Yeah, there you go.
As I said, the reason I changed careers is because I wanted to expand from that, 8x8, 2-bedroom, 1-bath prison cell to something a little more.
Yeah, I did hear a rumor that you still pack. Is that true?
That is true.
Okay. How do you is that something you find most realtors should do?
Yes. Matter
Why?
of fact, I just did a TikTok video.
You did?
Yes,
Okay. Oh, tell me about it.
Explaining that.
Okay. Well, perfect
Well, I
timing.
mean, as long as they are comfortable and they're
of course.
trained
Yeah,
and they
of
know
course.
what they're doing. Yeah, we meet pure strangers over a phone, internet, and then we show up in the middle of nowhere at a vacant house. And you just,
It sounds like the making of a really good horror story.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
It's really risky, and especially for women too. We got to be prepared.
Yeah.
So, and you got to fight like hell if that ever happened.
Yeah.
But I want to increase my odds of winning that.
I like
battle.
that.
So,
If something ever does happen,
yeah.
I got a 60% higher chance of getting out of here.
Yeah,
Right?
you got to have, and you have to have that mentality too.
Yeah, and so did you carry during your federal work?
Yes.
Okay.
Which-
So you're very comfortable with a firearm.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Did you hear that? Yes.
Yes. Any shoppers out there that don't know Sarah, she's very
That's
comfortable.
why my clients always come back. They're afraid to go elsewhere. So, no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Like, we just call Sarah. Yes.
Well, and I do have some realtors that once they just get started and they're in a situation where they're not really quite sure, if they should meet them, then they usually call me as their backup.
As their backup to be there? Yeah.
To be there or, know where they're at, which is what
It's very
every realtor
smart.
should do anyway.
Very smart.
Yeah. Someone should know where you're at all the time.
I would, a vacant house meeting strangers. I haven't heard a lot of stories. I heard some crazy stories, though, with people meeting and things not going so well.
Yeah.
So
even like open houses too, you don't do those alone.
Yeah.
So you just prepare. Just prepare for
be
the
smart
worst.
about it. Do you, if a realtor wanted to conceal carry, well, let me I'm going to switch the question around just a little bit. Would you suggest they open carry or conceal carry?
Oh, conceal.
Conceal,
Yeah.
okay. And then with the conceal carry, how would you instruct somebody to go about doing that? Just take a class anywhere, or is there a specific way that you would suggest they go about
you
that?
can take classes. I mean, they're offered a lot all over the place. But, for any realtor, I would just make sure you get enough time. Take a class and practice.
Yeah, be comfortable shooting it, be comfortable loading, unloading, be comfortable. I don't know.
Right.
Do I have one in the chamber or do I not?
Right,
What does that mean? Do I have a safety on my gun? Do I not? Right.
Exactly. Don't be like those guys on TV that always seem to check. Like, you don't know you have one in the chamber. Come on.
So you're carrying a 9. You pulled it. Yeah, it's kind of funny,
like,
right?
why wouldn't you load it like that? I don't know. But anyway, that's just my preference.
Oh, that's good. So another quick question for you here. Okay.
Yes.
You mentioned you spent a lot of time working. You were available. When and what do you do to make sure that you have a nice, relaxed life? And I shouldn't say nice, relaxed life. Obviously, you do what you want to do. I'm not. Hey, I'm not saying nothing. Okay, you do how you want to do it. What do you do to unwind? Would be a better way to say that.
Okay. Unwind. Well, I do try to work out a couple of times a week.
Okay.
And then have
Just go to a gym or a home gym or something like that.
Yeah, to
okay.
the Y and or bike or walk or whatever with friends, that kind of thing. That's important, to keep doing something, to be active. And then my problem is taking enough vacations. I don't know
anything about that. Yeah,
I'm practicing that.
Still practicing too.
So I do need to learn to take more vacations. But I mean, even on vacation, you have to answer the phone.
Yeah.
There's really no.
Where when you say go on vacation, what would be a good place for you to go? Would you go to the mountains? Would you go to a beach? Would you go on a road trip? What would you do?
Mountains I like. I have a place on a lake in Michigan,
nice.
so I like that. I go there. Matter of fact, I just took a trek across country with my 2 dogs and my old cat, and we drove a camper over. Every year we do this.
Wow.
And drive back to Michigan and then stay at my place there then drive back.
How long do you usually stay?
Well, this year I did 3 weeks, which
is
longer
that's very
than
good,
I've
though.
ever done. And I'd like to get to that point where I'd start to take,
I mean,
more time.
That's a good amount of time, but in our industry, outside of showing the houses, you do have a lot of opportunity to be able to do that, right? As long as you're still available.
Right. Yeah.
Do you have good internet there?
I do.
Hey.
And I'm, the phone still rings there in
The
Michigan.
phone works, the internet works.
That's right.
The cat's still old, and the 2 dogs still bark.
And you can hire people, your team to help out if you need it. So, you got to have all of that in place. But it is important to break away and try to get.
How long of a drive is that? Other than too long, like if you had to actually.
It's like 1,300 miles or something. One way.
That's okay. I see why you want to stay 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a long way.
You stay 4 days, you're still beat tired trying to recover.
It's about 3 days to get there, 2.5, 3 days.
Yeah. So you take an RV out there?
Yes.
Right?
I pulled a camper this time.
Pulled a camper, okay.
Last year I had my hippie van, so I just drove with everybody in the back. It was kind of a circus.
Yeah.
Stop bothering me.
Yeah. So I had a dog one time. I was driving over I-70, and I gave my dog, the vet said to give it kava, which is like a root, because my dog would get panicky in the car. Yeah. Okay, cool. I'll give her the kava. Give her the kava. First off, she starts freaking out, like foaming at the mouth. I'm like, I just killed my dog. This is awesome. Nice vet. Really cool. Finally, the dog, drinks some water and gets normal. And then I start driving. I'm driving over I-70, and I had about an 85-pound boxer, and she became extremely needy at about 85 miles an hour coming down I-70. Started climbing on my lap, started leaning on me a lot. At one point, wanted to get on my lap so bad that she stuck her foot through the steering wheel.
Oh no!
And I was like, "Oh crap! Yeah, it can be interesting. So this last weekend, we took our family to Mount Princeton, and I don't usually take off very often, but it was my choice. I said, you know what? Let's make this an adventure. We're taking the dogs. Everyone's like, we can just pay some kid to let the dogs out. It's like, nah, we're taking them because it's going to be more adventure. I'll tell you, everything was probably 4 times the hassle that it needed to be with the dogs there. But there was also weird, fun adventures that showed up that you didn't quite expect having the dog there, right? Ended up places just for them, but then we ended up doing something cool. So it is fun to take an animal.
It's so much less stress when you get there for the dogs than staying at home with a stranger.
Yep.
Or that kind of thing. So the challenge was the cat, I thought, but he was a great traveler.
Really? I thought I was always under the impression cats were terrible travelers.
He was pretty cool.
Really?
Yeah. His name's Fat Bastard. So
that's his name.
You can.
I believe that was in a what was that? It was a Mike Myers show. What was that? What am I thinking of? Gold.
I just swore. You got me to swear.
You said you weren't going to swear this whole time. Yeah, there you go. We got her to swear, folks. That's not going to be beefed out. So.
Okay, end of podcast.
But that is the actual cat's name. So it's
No, his name is Baxter. But I used to call him Fat Bastard because
it kind of rhymes with Baxter in a way. It's like Fat Baxter. It kind of, you know what I mean?
It just rolls off the
Yeah,
tongue.
it's just it's natural. Yeah, it's very natural. How long have you lived in Springs?
Oh, I've been here now about 18 years, maybe.
And where did you move from?
Last, where was I? Detroit.
Okay. So when you moved to Colorado Springs, Detroit's radically different.
A little bit.
Yeah. What? Got some 8 Mile going, Yeah. So what?
Me and Eminem.
Yeah, you guys.
We were like
that. Yeah.
Trailer
Trailer Park Bros. Yeah. So what shocked you moving to Springs? What I mean by that is culturally, lifestyle. Like what was something you didn't expect? Like what was different?
It was incredibly beautiful.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I started my trek in Colorado, in Denver. And then when I got hired on the job, I kind of went to Las Vegas and Washington, D.C. and Detroit and Toronto and then here.
A lot of big cities.
Yeah, a lot of big cities. So I wanted to come back. I chose to come back to Colorado. And that's just, it's just it's hard to explain. You see the mountains and it's like, home.
Yeah, you can just, it's all across that whole.
It's just gorgeous here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can hop. I like that you can hop in a vehicle and you can be, or depending on where you're at in town, you can be in a vehicle and anywhere in town in 25, 30 minutes you're in the mountains, right? Which is great. You're not driving for an hour and a half fighting traffic to get to the mountains, which is very nice.
Yeah.
So
it's just this is my happy place.
So last question for you here.
Okay,
Ready?
Don't be a stumper, man.
This one's a little hard. If you moved to a new city anywhere in America, doesn't matter where, what actions would you take immediately to start building your real estate business? Like what is crucial that that you've learned over this last 8 years? What do you have to do?
I wouldn't do it.
You wouldn't. I would stay retired.
I would retire. I wouldn't start this all over again. No, because you have to start somewhere, right? Friends, family, that kind of thing. If you move to a new city,
and you know nobody.
I'd get in a different line of work.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
You got to have
something.
Somewhere.
Yeah.
It's just too hard.
You know what?
But if I had to.
If you had to, gun to your head, you have to.
Okay.
Yeah.
If I had to, then I would probably seek out a brokerage that was doing well, that kind of fit with my personality. It wouldn't be one of these big, giant,
no huge national brand
companies. Yeah. No, but something like what I'm in now. Yeah. That's just a little more.
So the brokerage would be a massive part.
And then just join them and
follow what they do.
Follow what they do. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I have had a fantastic time talking to you.
Thank you,
Sarah.
Tim.
So
I've enjoyed it as well. It wasn't as bad as I thought.
It was. Yeah. I had a lot of bad thoughts here, and none of them happened. So that's good. Well, thank you for being on the show today, and tell everybody how do they contact you if they wanted to see you again. TikTok. You have a very easy TikTok name, right? It was like What was it again?
Red the Realtor.
Red the Realtor. Yeah. Okay. And what if they wanted to check you on YouTube or anything like that? Is it just under your name?
Yes, it's typically something to do with Red the Realtor.
Red the Realtor.
Yeah,
okay.
That kind of thing. But it's Front Range Real Estate Professionals, and I can be reached. Do you want me to
Yeah. Throw it out there. Yeah, throw it out there.
719-494-5939. And our website is
cofrontrange._@ uppercase bold,
oh, my
italicized.
Kill me for that. cofrontrange.com.
All right, and if it's not there, just go to Red the Realtor,
just
and Sarah will be able to help you. So that wraps up another episode. Thanks a lot, Sarah, and we'll catch you guys next week.
Happy birthday, man.
Thank you.
Okay.
That wraps up another episode of Agent Success Podcast. Remember, you can find new episodes each week at agentsuccesspodcast.com. We hope you found the insights and best practices shared today truly valuable. And if you did, please subscribe, rate, and leave a review on your favorite podcast platform. Remember, your success is a journey of learning and improvement. So let's keep hustling, thriving, and learning. Until next week, this is Tim Chase.